Alright, hello everybody, Albert here. So in this video, I'm gonna walk you through how I did my Pi Day campaign from the very beginning. I will cover how I put every step into action on this campaign. I will not explain in detail the technical stuff as they have been explained in detail in previous videos. You can always revisit the videos again. I think what important here is the mindset, the thinking behind the action I took, how I set the goal and stuff. Alright, let's get started. So it was January. I found the Pi Day t-shirt idea from holidayinsights.com, and I was looking for a celebration 2 or 3 months ahead. Then I found this Pi Day here that was celebrated on March 14, 2015. Then I searched Google for more information. I found out that this year's celebration is very special because the Pi numbers is 3.14159 and so on, and it resembles the date March 14, 2015. So I think this is a very good trend to ride on. Then I did market analysis. I went to Audience Insight tools. I always directly go to Audience Insight every time I find an idea to see whether there are at least 2 or 3 closely related interests that I can directly test on. So I type in Pi Day and these 3 interests show up. Let's see the total of the audience here. So it is 45k to 50k. I think these 3 interests here is more than enough to provide a very targeted audience to test. Then I did a competition analysis to check whether there were other t-shirts using the same design, using the same concept. So I go to tees cover, then I type in Pi Day, number of tees sold 50. At that time, there were 2 designs showing up. These 2 were showing up, and one sold around 90 plus and the other one sold more than 100, meaning that they are buyers to the niche. This confirmed that I for sure had to go after this niche. It was only the matter of whether my design clicked with the audience or not. Then I discussed the design concept with my designer, and then the design came out. Then I launched it with a 1200 times 1200 image PPE ads. So this is my post. The Pi Day of the century is coming soon, March 14, limited edition t-shirt and hoodie. For more details, click here. So try to create a curiosity. I don't include price on my post because I want people to click the link to my t-shirt page so that they will be added to the website custom audience list that I can retarget them later. And then I will include a please share and tag your friends. So this is the call to action. Asking them to share and tag friends will help your post to go viral. And here's the image. As you can see, it's very simple. I use a yellow background. I don't use a red border as too many people have used it. I use black t-shirt as my main image since black is the most popular color, and put other different products with smaller image on the bottom left and right. Next, for targeting, I went to Audience Insights and I checked the demographics and saw that there was almost the same number of men and women. So I ran these 2 demographics and the age was 25 to 64. When you choose page likes, there are not many related pages you can target. So I had to think, who would be interested in the design? Who would celebrate this event? What first came to my mind was people who likes mathematics and science. Since this is not celebrated in my country, I need to check Google, and I type in Pi Day celebration to get a feel of how Pi Day is celebrated. So after browsing Google, Wikipedia, visiting some web pages, I found some main keywords related to Pi Day are physics and teacher. So these are 4 main keywords that I used to do the targeting using the method I have shown you in the previous video. Then I took the keywords here and ran it through the targeting method. So I took mathematics, for example, and I list all the keywords that I can find using these 4 methods. I use Audience Insight. So let me show you some example here. So mathematics would be too broad, so I would try to type in mathematics education. In the unit, this is no mathematics education. Try this one. Alright, so there are 700 to 800 audience here, and these are the pages that you can try to target. Some of them are related to teacher pages. Alright, so I use the method outlined here to look for a mathematics interest, and then I look for mathematics association, mathematics related movie like Big Bang Theory, and then public figure like Albert Einstein, and so on. And then I did the same keywords with science, teacher, and physics. So that's how I collected the list of interests for my Pi Day campaign. By the way, I also target field study. Let me show you here. We go to Facebook, ads, create. Alright, when you're creating your ads, you can choose more demographics, and then education, field of study, and you can type in mathematics. I made, this is United States. $35 to $64. Alright, so I made this as a one ad set, and then I also target field study physics. Alright, so there are a lot of field study that you can target using this field of study, and you can also play with the job titles, like for example a teacher assistant, head teacher. Alright, and also I also target engineer. Right, here it is. Alright, so remember to add this to your targeting. Then I did testing to see how the market will respond to my design. On the first day, the cost per engagement was quite high, which is 31 cents per engagement, which is actually pretty high for PPE, but the conversion rate is crazy. On the first day, I checked for $12 spent, there was 6 conversion. So the money in $12, money out 6 times $14 per set, 84. So the profit is 72. The ROI is 600%. I was like, this is going to be big. So although the CPE is very important to be low, but with this high ROI, the CPE becomes irrelevant. So this campaign really got my attention. I had another campaign that are also selling hundreds at that time, but the ROI for that one was just 90%. But this one was 600%. How could it not get my attention, right? Now let me tell you, when you get a campaign with 500 or 600% like this, I suggest you to get prepared for scaling, and hopefully you have a big enough audience in your niche. Then I started the process of scaling up and scaling out, following the guidelines I walk you through in the video. I started taking interest out of my list, creating the ad set for each of them, and run the ads. I have around 40 to 50 ad sets running, targeting those interests. So every day I would look into the stats and write down on the report. So you can see the paper this thick here. This is a collection of all my Pi Day data. I wrote the data down starting from like day 3. I wrote them down on papers because I didn't have a big monitor to help me work efficiently. It would take me so much time to switch the screen back and forth, so I decided to use paper. So the paper here is exactly the same as the table I showed you in the report management video. So every day my job is writing down the data, check every interest, look at the movement of everyday sales, and scale up and down accordingly. So let's take a look at the Facebook ads report. So this is the report for my Pi Day campaign. Let's look at the early day of my campaign. So at the end of first day, I spent around $33 for the conversion of 8. This is actually more than this because some of them are not reported. And you can see from here that the cost per checkout is very good. This is quite low for $1 per sale. Let's look at the next day. All right, though the cost per checkout here is not really that precise, since we are running PPA ads and some of the sales are not reported, but we can take this as an indication that to show which interests are performing better than the others. If you take a look on the first day, I run this interest here with a low budget, as I suggest you to scale up slowly. Alright, then the next day I increase it to like $10 per day, and then the next day $20 per day, and then around $30 per day. Alright, so remember to scale up slowly to give a Facebook time to optimizing its audience. And then you look at our stats now. For 16 January, we have spent $400, and the total checkout is more than 108. And then the next day we spend 700, so I spend around $200 to $300 per day, then increasing it to 400 per day and 700 per day. So this is how I scale by gradually increase the budget over the days. Then look at let's jump to 27 January, because this is where I started my lookalike audience. Okay, at this point I have spent around $9,800, and I remember the ROI for on this day is 300%. It means that it's around 30,000 profit at the time. So the checkout here is not precise. It's around 3,000 to 4,000 sales. Let's look at some of the interest here. The cost per checkout is still low, though some of the costs has already increased. Alright, but overall the stats are still good. So by this day, the ROI had gradually dropped to 300% from 600% in the beginning. At this time, I was making like over 2 to 3 grand a day. And then I think I have to focus 100% on this one. I stopped running other campaigns and started focus only on this one. At that time, making $2,000 a day was a big success for me already. But I didn't want to stop only there. I think I cannot be complacent, so gotta put my effort to the max and treat it like once in a lifetime opportunity. As they say, if you want to reach your goal, you have to write it down. So I write this down. I got a plan. So this is where I started, and this is my goal, which is to earn 100,000 profit from this campaign. So it was 25th January when I wrote this. I set my ending date to 28 February as it takes 14 days for the t-shirt to be delivered. So I have 35 days to reach my goal. Then I calculate if my net profit is 20,000 per day, then in 35 days I would earn 70 grand. If my net profit is 4,000 per day, then in 35 days I would earn 140 grand. Then I calculate if the ROI is steady at 300%, then I will need around 33 grand to pay for the ads to get me to 100,000 profit. But I have to prepare for lower ROI, since in most cases ROI will drop when you start to scale. So at 100% ROI, I would need 100 grand to make 100 grand profit. Now, why would I show you this? What I want to say is that from this calculation, I found that in order to reach my goal here, I need to run $1,500 to $4,000 for Facebook ads in a day, while at this time I was only spending around $800 per day. So this is the importance of writing your goal down, because when you write it down, you will figure out the way to reach your goal. After writing this down, I realized that 800 ad spend per day is not enough to bring me to my goal. I have to be aggressive to find more interest to scale. I need a strategy. So the key action here is I have to find many related interests and maintain the ROI to 300% as long as possible. Keep in touch with the market means that I need to engage with the audience with the commands to know what the audience want, and check whether there are other scaling method that I can use. But I ended up using the scaling method that I teach you in this course. And then be fast before competition enters. So at this point, I was like at 3,000 to 4,000 sales, and the sales started to slow down. So the next day, I ran lookalike audience, and the sales started to pick up again. The lookalike audience helped increase the ROI to 320% for a few days before it's starting to drop again. So this is how I did my lookalike audience. As I mentioned in lookalike audience video, I intersect the lookalike audience from conversion pixel with one broad interest. So some of the interests that I chose are mathematics, physics, teachers, engineering, education, Big Bang, and Khan Academy. So this is how I segment my lookalike audience. So for example, I take teachers for the broad interest. So I intersect the lookalike audience with the teacher interest, and I segment them down to 16 different ad sets. So I split into male and female. And for the male, I split into desktop and mobile. And I did the same for female. And then for each gender and each placement, I split the age again into 4 different age groups. Alright, so this is how I did the segmentation. I did this for every broad interest here. So that's why I ended up having over 500 ad sets. I know there was a lot of data to analyze, but by doing this, I was able to tell which segment is doing well and which is not. After splitting these broad interests into 16 segmentation, one ad set here ended up having like around 70,000 audience to 100,000 audience for each of this ad set here. After running lookalike audience scaling, I was able to boost my sales again, and from then on, my average profit was around 6 grand to 8 grand a day. There is even a day where I earn net profit of 10 grand a day. So you must always include lookalike audience in your strategy. Because of lookalike audience, my sales was able to boost up and brought me to over 20,000 sales. Let's look at the ads report again. I will show you my lookalike audience ad set. So this is the one for mathematics, and you can see how I split it into a different segment. And this is for physics, teacher, engineering, big bang, education, school, professor, high school, software, alright, student, science channel. So not all of these broad interests work. Some of the interests has been working well in the female gender, while there's no sales in the male gender. While some interests, a certain age group was performing very well, like 45 to 64 years old has a lot of sales, while the age group of 25 to 44 is very low in sales. So that's why you have to split tasks with the method that I show you here to get the best result. So from 12th January until today, I have spent around 130 grand for the Pi Day campaign, and the total checkout reported is 9,700. So let's check the real sales here. Alright, so this is 20,025 for the main campaign, and this is for kids, and this is for Bella Tanks. For kids, I sold around 1,000, and for Bella Tanks, I sold 200. In the middle of my campaign, I launched Pi Day Kit Edition and Bella Flow Tank. I messaged my past buyers and got more than 70 sales in a day without paying any money for advertising. And for the retargeting, I started my retargeting ads 1 week after I launched my campaign. As I said, I ran a web conversion for my retargeting. Let's look at the Facebook ads report. Pi Day retargeting. Alright, so this is the retargeting for Pi Day main campaign, and this is retargeting for tanks. So the cost per checkout started at around $2 at the beginning and then ended up $6 at the end of the campaign. Alright, so this is a case study of how I ran my Pi Day campaign. If you have questions about any part of the video here, you can always revisit the previous video. I hope you learn and get something valuable from this video. Alright, thank you for watching.